everyone, it's DiabeticDanica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about dating with diabetes. I'll be the first one to say that I don't have a lot of experience with dating. I've had a few boyfriends up to this point, but I didn't go on my first date until freshman year of college. In high school, went to a really small school. There was only 2 guys in my class, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to date, and I was also super shy, so didn't really put myself out there with guys. But now that I'm in my late 20s, which feels so weird to say, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have a boyfriend, so I thought I would finally talk about the dating world when it comes to diabetes. I think the most common thing I get asked would be like, how soon do you bring up diabetes with someone that you're interested in? And for me, it always comes up really fast. I'm kind of blessed in that way because my job is a diabetes educator, and so it's kind of hard for it not to come up because usually that's like one of the first things you find out about someone, like where are you from, what do you do for work, you know, that kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to say what I do for work without also saying I have type 1 diabetes, so it's like a personal passion of mine. I guess I could leave that part out, but it wouldn't be the full story. So thankfully it always comes up super early, and I feel like it's nice to bring it up early because it's a nice weeding out tool. Like if that is going to be a problem for someone for some reason, I want it to be known off the bat because that part is not going to change. I'm going to have type 1 diabetes probably the rest of my life unless a cure is found. So it's something that whoever is with me needs to be okay with. I'd say even above okay with, they need to also be supportive and understanding and kind about it. So it's possible that maybe some guys have stopped talking to me because of the diabetes. I honestly don't know. No one has ever said to me, oh, that's a deal breaker for me, but it's possible it freaks some people out. I honestly don't know. I have done online dating, and so online dating, you kind of find out stuff ahead of time before you meet the person, and so I just didn't end up meeting those people where diabetes was a problem because it always came up. And so once I'm in person, I also find that it comes up pretty fast because usually dates are coffee or dinner, and when I go to coffee or dinner, I have to give insulin, so usually that involves looking at my blood sugar on my CGM and pulling out my pump. And so me pulling out my pump gives me the opportunity to say, oh, I'm going to give some insulin for this, or it gives them the opportunity to ask me what I'm doing, or it just opens it up because it comes up naturally in the date. And I found that some guys just completely ignore me taking out my pump, and that's totally fine. Some people ask questions, it just kind of depends. I like both, honestly. If you're just willing to roll with it and you don't take it as like this big thing we need to discuss, that's great. If you have some questions about the diabetes, that's great too. Otherwise, I don't feel like diabetes has really changed the way I go on dates compared to people without diabetes. I mean, I make sure I have all my supplies just like I always do whenever I go out in my purse. And of course, I try to maintain my blood sugars just like I always do when I go out. So nothing major changes other than the fact that I guess I have to feel comfortable to tell the other person and to be open about it so that they know what's going on. I will say though, I really don't like having a low blood sugar on a date because like if we're going for a hike or something like that, I'm just getting to know the person, I don't know them very well. I don't really want to be in the position where I have to sit down or I can't think clearly or I'm shaking or feeling crummy because I'm probably already nervous. So I really try to avoid that, of course, but it happens and you just address it, and most people obviously are going to be really understanding and helpful. So I guess overall my advice would just be to own your diabetes. I mean, be really comfortable with it if you can, be open about it. Tell people what they'd like to know about it, what you need to do, and the right people are going to stick around, the right people are going to love you no matter what, or like you no matter what. And it's another way for people to show that they're interested if they're asking questions or if they're learning more about it. So that part is really, really cool. Having type 1 diabetes doesn't make you any less desirable. It doesn't make you any less worthy of love or companionship or a relationship and a life partner. You can definitely find those things with type 1 diabetes, and you really shouldn't let it hold you back. You still have to take care of yourself and take care of your blood sugars along the way, but definitely don't let it stop you from living a full life. In the past, a previous boyfriend, I actually flat out asked him, I was like, does seeing my medical devices freak you out at all? And he said, no, not at all. You know, now with my boyfriend, I just let him know where my devices are so that he doesn't accidentally like hit it or something like that if we're cuddling. And he's never made me feel bad about having a Dexcom on my tummy or an infusion set. And if he hugs me and I'm like, ooh, that was right on my set, he's like, oh, and then he just avoids it. So it's really, really sweet. Definitely super understanding. My boyfriend is always super helpful too. If I have a low blood sugar, he's always willing to go get me something so that I don't have to get up. He always is willing to ask if I'm all right, to make sure I'm taken care of. I will say at the beginning of the relationship, he was a little bit extra concerned when things would happen like lows or highs, and he's kind of chilled out a little bit. I think, you know, at the beginning you just don't know how big of a deal things are or how much of an emergency something is, and so he's kind of mellowed out with that, but he's still always willing to make sure I'm okay and make sure I have what I need. So that's really great. I have not yet showed him how to fill up my insulin pump with insulin, but I do want to do that. He's like, I think it'd be... That's actually him calling right now. I better wrap this up. Okay. I haven't yet showed him like how to fill up my pump with insulin or anything like that, but he has said like, oh, that'd probably be something that'd be good for me to know. So I'll probably teach him that at some point. I also think it's important down the line to teach your significant other how to use a Glucagon emergency kit, just because that's, you know, if you went so low that you passed out or you weren't able to eat or drink anything, you'd want the person with you to know how to bring your blood sugar up with Glucagon. Surprisingly, I haven't taught Cody that yet. I've thought about it multiple times and I know I need to. We go on hikes all the time together. Like, he needs to know how to use that, but I haven't done it yet. But don't follow my example. I think you should do that definitely so that the other person feels like they could help you in an emergency and that they can help you in an emergency. So I was thinking it would be fun to do another video with my boyfriend in it, and you can ask him questions about what it's like to date someone with diabetes, kind of what he thought about it when he first heard about it, maybe what our first date was like, just what his experience has been like from the other side. So if you want to leave him questions in the comments down below, that would be great. I have not asked him yet if he's open to this, but I think he will be, so I'll definitely ask him before we ever film it. But if you have questions about what it's like to date someone with type 1 diabetes from the non-diabetic perspective, please leave it in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I make new videos about diabetes all the time, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. All right, he left me a voicemail.
Hello. Bored. I missed you. I wanted to come up say hi in our last hour here, and I've been sitting in one spot looking at one wall of my cubicle, and I just figured, why not? Missed your voice. But if you're busy, I get you. I will talk to you later, darling. Bye.
Where people can ask like questions about what it's like to date someone with diabetes, because some people worry about that. Would you want to do that?
Sure.
Cool.
My answers might be kind of like, we still
It's
go
no
on lots of
different.
adventures and stuff.
I think that's helpful to hear though, is like, it's not that different and it's gonna be fine.
I mean, gosh, I know it's like not necessarily sensitive, but it'd be like, more snacks.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, that's the main thing. But I feel like people would have questions and it'd be a fun video. So at the end of this video, I was like, I haven't really asked him yet, but if we do end up filming it, just leave questions down below.
Sure, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. I'll be the first one to... I've had a few boyfriends at this point, but not all at once. I matched my phone case. Of course, I try to maintain my blood sugars.